Okay, thought we'd make another video. Since we've with this smoke brush, we've made a strobe and a little stirrer. I thought we'd have a go at making a spoon. So we're gonna use our belt axe as normal. Obviously, we're gonna need a crook spoon. This is the one I use. I forget the name of this one. I got it from I forgot where I've got it. I thought it might be Ray Mears site, I think, years and years ago. I might use this knife to help out if we get into any tight situations. I will make sure that I show the video when I use this, but I'm going to try and make it with the Delica. I really enjoy using this, and it's a lot better wood carver than I thought. I thought I'd have to redo this edge before it would sharpen wood, but no, it is good wood carver. Anyway, so let's have a look at our bit of wood first of all. So we've split it along the curve that way. Instead of splitting it down that way, we've split it that way. So what we have, you see, if we, wrong way around, if we take this side here, so we reverse our bow, see we've got the lift, so we'll take out this bit here, and then we've got a bit of crack in here, but we'll go back from that. What this means is that we can get a white surround around the spoon and then delicately go down into the heartwood, so we'll have a bit of yellow in the spoon. And as you can see, it's actually a nice colour. It's a nice golden yellow that will come out with the surround being this spalted white. So we should get some nice colours. It's about the right length for a spoon. It's going to be slightly, well, we can straighten it up, but it's not too bent that we can't straighten it up if we want to. I don't mind a little bit of a kink on a spoon, to be honest with you, but we'll see how it goes. But that's what we'll do. The same as if we were going to make this into a spoon, then we would have to do it the other way around, because obviously we're going to get the lift up here, will be the handle, but this wouldn't be so interesting going down into this wood. It wouldn't look that heartwood going straight through and then catching a bit of the sides. It doesn't look very good. It's much better if you come from, they call it reverse the bow, and that's what I'll do. Anyway, let's get started. I've got my light on yet. So first, what I always like to do is start on the bow first. So we'll take a bit of our bark off. So we know where we are, get rid of the sappy bark. So we know that's got to go. Probably zoom in a bit, can't I? Nice scent to this wood. Right, so we can see we've got a split right back to there. So we've got to be, the bow's going to have to be back here, just missing that. Yep. Yeah, the split's gone a lot further. The split is there, so we're going to have to lose all that. And obviously we aren't going to be able to have our completely white around the bow. We've got another split. I don't know how deep that is, but what I think I'll do now, have a go with our bow. So have a go with our crook spoon. Let's see what we can do without moving the camera. I like unsymmetrical shapes, but I'll just see as it goes. So this has got a little knot there, so it will go out there. I like that in a spoon. Gives it a feature. I don't like symmetrical stuff. I prefer, especially wood like this, for it to be unsymmetrical. But you have to make sure that it looks like you did it on purpose, and you're not just making, trying to make a symmetrical spoon that you've made crappily. So you've got to make sure that you really do. You don't get stuck in no mid ground. You've got to. The spoon's got to look like was made purposely that way. You can always change things as well. See, if I take that as the rough template now, the split end's just there. So if I think, right, that's going to be roughly my bow, I don't have to make any final decisions yet, but that looks a nice sort of, some nice colours there, some nice shapes coming out. And now I can take away this around here and see if how far that crack goes down and if there's going to be any problems. And then we can play around again with the bow. It's not quite right there. I'll just do a little bit more. I do tend to use sandpaper on the bow because crook spoons just don't. My crook spoons just don't seem to be able to do clean cuts. They're just not good enough. I'll have to get if I thin this one down a bit more, maybe. But I don't mind the look of a sanded bow, but the rest of the spoon, knife finished. Right, so let's go back to our axe a minute. Don't want to go too much like that because you can make a crack yourself. I could split that worse. Take it a little bit down here. Look here. Right. Yeah, what was I saying? So we've got the pith. Pith is just there by the looks. See it? So that runs underneath this, curves around, and then it's just coming out there. So we've got to go, obviously get rid of that, so all this has got to go, so we might as well go back to our axe. And obviously our handle's going to be on here, so we can lose a lot of this stuff. There's our pith. A little bit careful now. That's all right, we'll come at that angle. So we want to do really, we don't want our handle to come up and catch the white. It'll be plain and boring, even though this is a nice colour. We want to keep some of this outer sapwood, the white spotted. So we're going to work back slowly on this top layer here, and then we'll try and probably bring the handle to the pattern. I tend to go at things slowly, and once I see a nice bit of wood I think, well, I want that in the handle, so I'm not averse. Well, if we go straight, then actually you're probably about right. I don't want to take any more of that off. Take a bit more of this off I can, but not that. I mean, got that nice white sapwood, so we can take a bit of this corner off. Be very careful how much you take off with an axe, because you can make cracks that run deep that cause you problems later on. Don't be too aggressive with. Gently in here. Take a bit more off there. Right, so there is our basic little blank. You can see our bow there, so we can move back the bow a bit further here if we want. We can go deeper, and then because a lot of spoons, they're made too deep. They look nice deep spoons because of all the layers going down, but they're not very practical. You can't eat with them. But then if we say this is a teaspoon, we can make this a bit deeper, because we're not thinking about eating, we're thinking about, I don't know, a teaspoonful of sugar or whatever, aren't we? This is the sort of size for a teaspoon. So yeah, now we'll start to see our pith's nearly gone, a little bit there. So now I think we'll start refining it with our knife. We could take a bit more off here with the axe, really, which I probably will do, save us a bit of knife work. That's the benefit of this tiny little axe. It's so controlled that you can save yourself very gently. Take off bits of wood. And it's not fatiguing because it's such a light axe. Okay, let's refine this bowl a little bit. Let's see if it give us a bit of an idea more of our bowl shape, and then we can get on with the handle. I think I might little bit more depth, much more than that. It's fairly clean for I mean, it's bringing it out nice and clean. It's not too bad a bow. Oop. Genuinely, when you're using a crook spoon, you go from there to there, from there to there, go away fly, from there to there, from there to there, or else once you get back to here, it starts to dig in, and so you have to come at this angle to get clean cuts. I say I don't go for symmetrical stuff, I don't particularly like it. I like to do what I'm doing now, just sort of make it up as I go along. It's not something you're going to pick up right away, but I like it because you're never disappointed if there's a crack. You're always thinking of a different design, and I just sort of like that approach to things really, where nothing's set in stone. You know, and if this goes wrong, it'll just be a smaller spoon. If that goes wrong, it'll just be a spice spoon. I just make something smaller and smaller. Yeah, see, that's quite a nice shape. I don't mind that. It juts out there around the knots. That sort of looks quite natural. It's got enough depth to be useful. You could put a nice big spoonful of coffee or sugar or whatever. So that's about right. Yeah, I think we'll maybe a little bit more here, because it's such a nice. So I often look for what's pretty. There's a lovely little sort of silvery bit that's coming out there, which I quite like. Yeah, because if you start to go too deep, then you just take the sides down to make the spoon more shallow. But obviously I don't want to do too much because I've got this white, so I think I'm going to leave that now. And I'm going to work on bringing the bow. Once I get the bow looking, think right, that's how I want it, then I can start thinking about the handle. Did I tell you how much I like this knife? It's really nice because my bucks that I use, you can see how much further away I am, and how much bulky, well, especially the buck 110's like twice the weight of this, and it's a long knife, whereas this, it's just right. It's so light and not too long. I'll go in a little bit here, take a bit of this bulk off. Trouble seeing these glasses aren't quite big enough for me. I can't see under them. They're all blurry. What's that? Okay, got this nice silvery bit running through here. I don't know if you can see it. I think I'll turn I think the exposures, which way are we going? Yeah, I think we'll lower the exposure a bit, see how that goes. I can see it's flashing me, telling me things are overexposed. So 1 1/3 stop down. See how that goes, yeah. So everything else is a bit darker, but you can hopefully see the work a bit better. Hang on, let me get out of the way. Yeah. It's still telling me it's overexposed. But you can see that's nice and clear. Yeah, that little nice little silver bit running through there. That's lovely. So now what I want to do, probably, because we've got a bit of lift here, but I'll cut down on the back. Because if we're gonna, when you got white on the top, it's a bit plain. So I like to do a pinch on my spoons. So sometimes I meet them in the middle. I go a bit off the bottom, a bit off the top. But because this is, because we're going to expose our layers, I'll probably put the pinch more towards the top and just leave the base as it is. You'll see what I mean. Go back here. That's right, I'll zoom in. Yeah. Yeah, we got splits here. That's what you hear that sound, that pinching of the blade. If you haven't got a well supported edge, that can do some damage. Yeah, we've got a split there, so we're gonna have to, I'll shape this, get rid of that. Yeah, that sound you hear there, that pinching sound, that's lateral stress on the blade. If you haven't got a knife, if your knife isn't got a well supported edge, that's when it will disappear and end up with a big chunk out of your blade. Yeah, our splitter's gone. Let's refine this, how it's a bit bulky. Yeah, so we've got if we keep this a bit straighter and then scoop that in a bit further, we'll be so unsymmetrical that it will look like we did it on purpose. Whereas if you don't do it far enough unsymmetrical, it looks like you're a crap wood spoon carver. You could even twist this a little bit if you wanted to. You could even put, so it goes so it waves a little bit. You can see it's naturally doing it. I could accentuate that, take a little bit there. That only goes around in a curve, and we could actually make it wave a little bit. So if I go, in here a bit. Yeah, you can see straight away. So they've got a wavy, and that's sort of, you can see how I can make that look natural, and it's practical at the end of the day. That's what I'm after. I'm after a sort of teaspoon. I'm after something that's not run of the mill. Or looks different. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we want to curve that gently. Be a little bit careful. As the spoon gets a bit thinner, you can feel it flex. So you've got to be careful you don't break it. It's not quite there yet, but as it gets thinner, you have to be careful how you hold it and how much wood you take out. You have to progressively get more gentle as you go, as the spoon gets smaller. Ooh, a bit deep there. Don't do that. So this is absolutely 100% a wood carving knife. I mean, you can see that I can tell if it's lacking, then I wouldn't be happy. But this is absolutely spot on. I have to go the other way now. Grain's wrong. I always say, well, the proof's in the pudding, as they say. And if you can carve something, especially if you can knife finish it, then it sort of speaks for itself. That's what I like to do. I started making a lot of strokes after I sharpened knives. Just wanted to see what the capability of the knife was. And for me personally, there's no better way than just widen that out a little bit there and carve something with it. If we can make something that's something pretty, pretty little teaspoon, then hopefully that'll speak for itself. Just to be honest with you, a few years ago I would have never believed that I would this would ever be a carving knife. There you go, you don't know until you try. And I suppose the logic says really that if something's a piece of metal, a piece of steel, a piece of steel, then you know, they can all be made to carve wood. And this is definitely a good wood carver. Anyway, let's concentrate. Can't carve and talk at the same time. We could slope that down and gain some real nice, bring out the, in between this heartwood and the sapwood, there's some real pretty darting effects going on. So I might just taper this down, won't ruin the usefulness of the spoon. Just, I don't know, just where that knot is or something. Just have a look, see what we got. Instead of that boring white, I might take it down a bit all the way along here and just bring out that spouting. That will make it look interesting, won't it? Careful now, because it's not too fine here. But this is why you have to bring down the spoon all at the same time, because if I had finished this and this was too fine, I'm pulling on it now when I'm doing the stroke, so I could break the neck of it if I'd really gone down to a fine. I can feel it, but obviously this is quite bulky still. There, yeah, instead of that plain white, you see we're bringing out our layers, just these little darts of spoutiness. Yeah, so what I think I'll do, I think I'll go down there and leave that little bit there white. Won't go down there, so have a little rise and a fall sort of thing. Yeah, that looks much more interesting. There we go. See that? How much more interesting that is than just the plain white. Just bring just a thin layer down, and then you've brought out some of this darty heartwood. More interest. That's the thing about carving beautiful wood. It's like you don't need to do particularly. You don't have to be a brilliant wood carver or do anything fancy, because all you have to do is bring out the beauty in the wood. Sort of the wood's the star, and all you can still do rather a rudimentary shape, but have something that is quite well. The wood's the star, if you know what I mean. Something that's quite breathtaking, but actually is quite rudimentary. It's the wood that has really made the spoon, rather than your artistic skills, if you like, your carving prowess or lack of it. Right, I think we'll go up now. So we'll do our other side of our pinch coming up from the bottom to sort of meet in the middle. There you go, see that's it sort of rests there. Go a little bit further. So a bit more in there. So we're just refining it now, just thinning it down. It's a little bit too bulky. We'll take a bit of these corners off, make this a bit more rounded. That's what I mean. And just slowly work our way in. And obviously we haven't drawn around and we haven't got a strict design, so I like to, it's a suck it and see, and we'll just slowly work down until we get something that's sort of pleasing to our own eye. That's all I can do really. That's the way I sort of carve. Uh-oh. Trimmers are out. Bloody hell. Right. I think I'm going to give it a break until the strimmer disappears. Anyway, that's where we are so far. I might carry on off camera and do a little bit of refining, and then when you come back I'll have whittled this away a little bit, and I might, before I try and knife finish, just give this knife a sharpen or a stroke, and I'll show you how that goes, probably in a separate video. Okay, the strimmer has finally stopped, and this is how far we got. Oh, what am I going off screen? Focus, focus, focus. See if I can get it to focus up close. So that's what we've been able to do with our knife. This is where this knife will struggle, and it's nothing to do with the it's not pointy enough, and like I said, to get the layers to match up on these bits, the real tight turns, it's just not pointy enough. It's the wrong design. It needs to be hollow ground with a one-sided blade. But I hope you agree. Oh, come on, Dave. It's done a good job to get this far, and I've decided that this would benefit from being sandpapered now, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll instead of coming back with a video, I'll probably leave a little sideshow, and I'll sandpaper this because it really does need refining. It's got to the part where really this would really benefit for some sandpaper now. And I like to knife finish stuff, but I can see that I will get a much better result now if I take a sandpaper to this, spend an hour or so, and then oil it, and then I'll take some pictures and do a slideshow. But what I was going to do, I won't do it now, it's getting a bit dark now, but you've seen me carve this wood, you've seen how much carving this knife's done. I'm just going to do a stroking video, so I'm going to test the knife on my Rizzler papers like I normally do. I'm going to stroke the knife up, and you'll see how I can bring this knife right up to, it's just going off now, I can just feel it. If I was going to do any more on this knife, I would want to sharpen this now, because it's just around here where I've done most of the work. I can feel it's just losing a bit of its edge, tiny bit. So I'm going to show you how I freshen that up tomorrow, and I'll make a separate video of that. So and then on this video that we are now, I'll just sandpaper this up, oil it up, and then do a little slideshow at the end of the video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're equally impressed with this knife as I am. And we'll do some more videos. There's some other knives I want to carve with, but I think I'm going to be using this knife a lot for my carving, so I do intend to do a lot more carving now, and I've really enjoyed using this knife. So I hope you enjoyed that. Cheers now. See you soon.